Welcome to Natural Habitat Adventures Daily Dose of Nature. Today's presentation, Ancient Mammals, Modern Threats, Protecting Brazil's Giant Anteaters, is brought to you by NatHab Expedition Leader Elder Brandao and Dr. Jorge Gallo from, Dr. Jorge Gallo from the Anteater Institute. Thank you both so much for being here today. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Brooke. Thank you very much, everyone, to be here. I'm a biologist. I work as expedition leader for NatHab, and I got it in Cuba for a while, in Patagonia for many years, but my focus now in Brazil, in the Pantanal. An amazing wildlife trip where we can see macaws, caimans, jaguars, and so many other animals. But today we're going to focus on my favorite one, which is the anteaters. So for that, we have a special guest today. Jorge is a scientist from the Anteater Institute. And today we're going to hear from the Institute, from this beautiful animal, many years of work, over 20 years of work of this institute, their research efforts, their conservation initiatives. So Jorge is a coordinator of the Wildlife Care Center. And Jorge, thank you very much for being here. It's a pleasure to see you, and we are happy to hear from you.
Okay, thank you, Elder. Thank you, Brooke. Thank you, Elder, for inviting me here. It's really good always is good to talk about anteaters, also my favorite animal. So my name is, like you said, Jorge Gallo, and I'm a biologist, a researcher, and I'm working in this beautiful place, one of the most extraordinary and also fragile places, the ecosystems in the world, the Brazilian Pantanal. And I want to share with you not only the work that the Tamanduá Institute are doing here, but also why the future of this species, like the giant anteater, is directly connected to how we think, or the way we think the land, the climate, the responsibility as humans, as persons that love the nature. So this is me. Oh, I have a picture here of me in the middle of the field. Here, as Elder said, I am coordinating the Pantanal Research Wild Care Center here in Ecological Refuge Caimán. So most of my work happens far from the office, really happen in the field with these animals, collecting data and working with people here in Caimán in the middle of the Pantanal. I work with camera traps, with ecological monitoring and animal rehabilitation, and long-term conservation projects. That's what we do. That's what I do here in Pantanal. So my background is scientific, but my daily reality actually is always solving these problems around this species. So the Tamanduá Institute, the Institute of Tamanduá, as we call it here, this just something for you to know that the giant anteater name in Brazilian is Tamanduá. That is, it comes from the language of the Tupi, that is an indigenous tribe of the Brazilian Amazon River, and means ant catcher. So that's the meaning of the Tamanduá word, and you will hear Tamanduá a lot of in this webinar. So the Tamanduá Institute, we are completing now, the last year we complete 20 years. The Tamanduá Institute was founded in 2005. So it's been 20 years of continuous work, and that's a lot for us because we are an NGO. Longevity matters for us. So it means resilience, institutional memory, and we learn a lot of things in all these years, and with mistakes, with successes. But we are really happy to complete these 20 years working in entire Brazil. So what we do, what are our objectives, our focus subjects? We are working in research. We think, when we believe that science is the foundation of everything we do. Actually, we study some special groups of animals that are the Xenartrans. You will know better than what is that. Is the group of anteaters, armadillos, and sloths, because they are ancient, they are ecological sensitive, and they are incredible for us. We really love these animals. So the research is one of the principal focus of the Tamanduay Institute. But not only the research, we always work with people directly, because we believe that conservation only works when people understand why it matters, the things that we are doing. So we try to work with schools, with communities, universities, and professionals, trying to translate the science and the research that we do into those accessible knowledge. Um, and also, and it's something really important for us, we work with public policies, because we believe that the data that we generate supports national action plans, for example, endangered species assessments and conservation strategies, the creation of protected areas. So we use all the data that we generate to all that actions. And who is she? Flavia Miranda. Flavia Miranda is the founder. She is the CEO of the Tamanduay Institute. The Tamanduay Institute was founded by her. She is a global reference in Xenartrans research. He built the first protocol of anteater captivity, for example, and her scientific leadership ensure that everything that we build here works. So we believe in her, and she believes in us. So we work together really well. She's one of the women of conservation, and she's great.
Good combination. It's a good combination
What?
of team. And Jorge, please,
Yeah, it's a good
let's hear a
combination.
little bit about let's hear a little bit about the evolutionary history of the group, right? Of the anteaters and armadillos and sloths. I think it's so important to understand the importance of those animals, right?
Yeah, I agree. Elder. These animals, the Xenartrans, is a special group because they're not only strange animals, unusual animals. This group of anteaters, armadillos, and sloths, they call Xenartrans, which means unusual joints, because all of them have these unusual joints in their backbones. And why we want to preserve these animals, because they have been in this planet, like these animals, the giant sloth and the glyptodons, for more than 65 million years. So that's important for us. They survived mass extinctions, but they're having troubles now, actually. But for us, they are so important because they're not only survived to those problems, they also are from here, from South America. So you won't find another Xenartran species in other part of the world. So that's why they are so important for us, and evolutionary, in terms of evolution, they are important to conserve. So they survive to climate change, as I said, mass extinctions and human pressures. That's why we like to call them like ecosystem sentinels, because the actual species, like over there, you can see the anteater species, the sloth species, and the armadillos, they're living now. They are trying to survive to some problems like the ancient ones. So they are trying to survive to climate change, to habitat fragmentation, and we are seeing that the population are decreasing every year. So for us, what is that supposed to mean? That they function as ecosystem sentinels, because when these animals disappears, something deeper is already wrong. Soil, vegetation, insects, climate. So protecting these animals, these sentinels for us, it means protect the entire system.
Exactly. I love this word, sentinels. So with so many studies that the institute have done, you're also working with other species, right? Other than anteaters. And the group actually expanded. The institute expanded to other regions of Brazil, right? So please tell us a little bit where actually the institute is working and what kind of news discoveries in terms of species that you already got.
Yeah, that's right. We have different operational bases here in Brazil. We're not only working here in Pantanal. Um, Let me see here. One of the bases that is working right now is this on the road of Tamanduai. Tamanduai is the little one, that you can see that picture over there. These have this size. So this is the smallest tamandua that you ever seen. That it's really nice. She's an arboreal animal, and we are working over there in the northeastern of Brazil. And we discovered that there's not only one species of this animal, there are actually 7 species. So that's crazy because that changed everything, the conservation categorization. So that changed everything. And we found that most of those species are endangered. So we said, okay, we need to do something with that. Let's gonna build a base over there in Brazil, in the northeastern of Brazil, and try to protect this animal. So that's why we
And
created the, sorry.
this is the silky anteater, right? Many
Yeah,
species,
sorry.
7 of the silky anteater, right? So this is very
Exactly.
special. You're not going to see them in the Pantanal in our trip, but there are chances to see in the Amazon. They're pretty rare, right? But it's great to see that more species are coming into light now, and we're getting more numbers of species, right?
Exactly. The silky anteater is in the exactly as you said, in the Amazon. In the Atlantic forest, we have a population over there too, but in the northeastern of Brazil. And this he's so little and so beautiful. That's why we want to conserve this species, and we create this project that we call the Tamanduai Road, where we are trying to reforestate the mangroves principally because they use a lot of mangroves to live. And we work with ambiental education too, and that's the principal work we were doing over there, and monitoring these animals. We want to know the population state, how many of them we can find over there, how healthy are those populations. So that's the principal objectives of this project in the northeastern of Brazil. Here. And we also work with sloths and armadillos because they are cynartrans too. You won't find neither sloths here in Pantanal. They are in Amazonian and Atlantic forest. So we try to create other projects in all the biomas of Brazil. And the project of preguiças, I would like to call, is the sloth project and the tatu bola project. They are trying to discover these species. We find that we have another 2 species of sloths over there, different too, with restricted distributions. So again, that changed everything because the conservation level changed. So we all that things were like call to actions for us, and we create those projects to conserve these species and to know more about the biology of these animals. Um, Here's a picture of one of the uh, the researchers that are working with the sloth project. they're trying to find this animal with drones, with thermal drones actually, because they live in the top of the trees. They're really difficult to see. So we found that this technology will help us to find these animals. No, and so we are trying to find them with this, and it's working actually. It's working really. So we find these little sloths. They are beautiful. And also we have some veterinaries working with this little armadillo. This is the only armadillo that can roll into a ball. So he is endemic of Brazil and is endangered too, of course.
That you could find in the Pantanal, but it's really rare. The three-banded
It's
armadillo,
really
right?
rare. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's really rare, but
I just have seen once in 20 years.
really, where? Here in Pantanal?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's crazy. I want to see one. Let me see here. So that's our species out of our project out of Pantanal. Here specifically in Pantanal, we are working with two projects. Right, one of them is here in Cayman, where you're gonna visit soon. One of them is the Orphan Project, and the other project is the Wild Animal Care Center. That the principal species of these two projects are the giant anteater. Yeah, is the principal the focus species of this project.
And this, I remember the fires we faced in 2020 and 2024. It was a big challenge for everyone, but it was amazing to have these results now. People really focusing on trying to rescue those animals. Imagine how many animals, especially the anteaters, suffered in that period. So yeah, please tell us a little bit about this animal, especially the giant anteater, and how you did and how are you doing the help if they need on the wild.
Okay, yeah, right. As you said, the big fires of those years was really hard for us, for everyone, and we lost a lot of anteaters. And that was another call to action for us, and want to protect these animals. This giant anteater, they are highly specialized insectivorous. They An adult individual, it can consume up to 35,000 ants or termites per day, so that's a lot of. They use only a tongue that can extend over 60 centimeters, coated with the sticky saliva to catch that ants or termites. Um, they have a stomach that is adapted to grind the insects using muscular contractions, just that, and ingested soil particles. So so they're like a biological meal, we like to say. This feeding behavior plays a key ecological role actually in regulating insect populations. That's something important too, because they can maintain this soil balance. So it's really important what they do, and how they eat, how they find these ants or termites. They use these big claws, these front claws that they have. They are stronger claws than the digging tools that they use to break the termite mounds and to feed. They can break ant nests, and also they use that claws for as a defense weapon against predators, like jaguars, for example. So that's some of the principal characteristics of these beautiful animals.
Yeah,
Look at the
no,
tongue over there.
hopefully, yeah, no, it's a great picture. You can see in the picture that the claws and during the trips we do in Anaheim, we are able to see them, especially where you are now in Cayman Lodge, the third lodge we visit, and it's amazing
Yeah,
to see them close by, eating, their
yeah,
natural behavior. You can see all the details. So sometimes you can see exactly what you mentioned, how they defend themselves. They stand up in their back feet right? This is why they're called Shirnatra as well, right? The extra joints in their lumbar vertebrae, right? So allow them to use the back foot and the tail as a tripod, so they can balance them themselves and open the front legs to defend themselves. So nice picture
there. There's something also particular in this species, that is the animal care, the maternal care, and the offspring transport, because these animals, the mother carries her baby on her backs for approximately 9 months, depends, but approximately 9, and you can see that the baby is perfectly aligned with the fur pattern of the mother. So it's a natural camouflage also that protects the offspring from predators. And during this period, the mother continues foraging, so walking long distance and teaching the young how to survive in the nature for during 9 months approximately. And where here's something that you elder comment about the fires and another threats that these animals have. So the fires, the habitat fragmentation, the road kills, the agriculture. So all these things are really a big problem for this animal. So in principle, the fires, the mega fires, they are really something that we stop in that moment after the mega fires here in Pantanal. We stop and we said, okay, we have to do something, because this is not good, and it won't get better. It worse every day. Actually, the Pantanal is getting dry every year, so that's something that another call to action for us. That's what it is. So you can see that these animals, they can survive easily because they can run far, they're not fast, they can see very well. So they are a really victim. They have poor vision, so they get how you say?
Exactly, yeah. With they don't see very well, they don't hear very well, so they got confused when they got fire, and so a lot of them suffer a lot and die or burn their paws. So it's one of the major threats right now. If you talk about 10 years ago, we wouldn't talk about fire. Nobody was talking about fire 10 years ago in the Pantanal. And for the past 5, 6 years now, this is a main threat to the whole system.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So our response to all that things are this orphans project that we are developing here in Pantanal. Where we rescue these animals, generally their baby, because the mother died and the baby survived because they stay in the back of the mother. So we rescue these animals, we rehabilitate these animals, and whenever it's possible, we reintroduce these animals into the wild. So this is a very difficult species to rehabilitate, because they have we have to feed them every 2 hours, approximately 3 hours a day when they're babies. So it's not easy to raise these animals.
And of course, when you give them, for example, like that on the picture, what kind of food do you give?
We have first, when they have the actually less than 6 months, we have a mixture of milk and tamandua food that we help to develop too, that they made with flies, dry flies and insects. So it's a mixture of milk and everything, and insects. So they have the nutritional value that they need, because they eat 35,000 ants a day. So it's really difficult to get that nutrients. It's not easy. So, but we get it. We can do now. We can do that now. And then when we think that the animals will be able to survive into the nature, we release them. We introduce them with this kind of vest, with this radio. It's like a radio collar adapted for anteaters because they don't have a neck. So we use that to find this animal into the nature. Let me see if you, here's the video. So where we're working with that antenna, trying to find the signal, find the animal. Here's one of the animals that we released after the 2024 fire here in Cayman. That animal was released here. So now he's very healthy. It's so nice. We took off that vest over 2 years approximately, when we can see that they are really good adapted to the ambient and everything is good. We took off that. So that's an example
And
of
that one specific, how old was this? Around.
this animal was approximately 5-6 years. Yeah.
And for how long usually they live in the wild?
I'm sorry, what?
How long they live in the wild?
Oh, in the wild, approximately 12 years, 15 years. Yeah. In captivity, they can live almost 20 years, but in the wild is 15, 12.
So in one of the trips of that, maybe we'll see you there at the lodge. Maybe we'll see that anteater as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's we call him Luisinho. That's the name of this anteater. So, talking about Cayman, we are here focused here after that those fires that burn on mostly the 80% of the area of the Cayman area. We are focusing this rehabilitation and research center, actually a wild animal care center, Ensenartron Research. So what we're trying to do here is the center where we have this area for the first aids to animals, not only some anteaters or senartrans, but also any animals that is injured here in the area of Cayman, we will receive here in the center. We have a clinic space where we have specialized veterinarians, so they will work here every day to save these animals. And we also are constructing these enclosures to rehabilitation. They are biggest than the other ones that we have in the Orphans project, because we can put a tapir over there, for example, or other type of animals, not only anteaters. So that's where we're working now, and we're trying to finish this place. I think that the next month will be ready for receive any animals and take care of them and then release them into the wild again.
It's an amazing accomplishment. It's an amazing accomplishment.
Thank you. So, oh, wait a minute. So basically, we are working because we're trying to give a legacy to the next generations, where after 20 years, I think that this legacy is measurable. So after 20 years, we're trying to create this genetic bank. We have a laboratory here in the center with every Senartran genetic material of Senartrans that we're here in our gen bank exclusively. So we've been working. I don't know if you know the how do you call the reintroduction project of Anteaters in Argentina, because we're working together with them to develop the protocols of these animals, of reintroduction of these animals. And we've been publishing more than 55,000 scientific publications. We describe a lot of new species. So that's part of our legacy. That's why we want to leave to the next generations. And we also work with reforestation, because we believe that we not only have to conserve the animals, but also the habitats of them. So we're trying to do our best to that, because we believe that conservation is the future of these animals actually depends on this collective responsibility. So we're trying to do all the things and even more now with the hospital. As said, actually the conservation, research, and future is the three words that can resume that legacy. So I think that I said everything I have to say about this project, and I want to make a direct invitation for you. I know that you will came here to Caimán, so you are welcome to come to the center to see what we're doing, see the animals that we are taking care of, and to understand how we're trying to save the Pantanal at this moment. So
Thank you, Jorge.
that's all.
Thank you very much. I think the clients will love to see you there and to experience the anteaters as well in Pantanal with Nat Hat. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Oh, Jorge and Elder, that was phenomenal. These animals are just so incredible and unique.
Yeah.
And seeing them in the wild is one of the most magical moments I think I've ever had myself. So the fact you've dedicated your life to them is just so amazing.
Oh my
All
God,
right.
thank you. Yeah.
Yes. All right, everyone. We have lots of time with Elder and Jorge here. So please drop your questions in the chat. And we already have lots coming in. So we're just going to go through and start learning all about these amazing anteaters. So we have a lot of fact questions about them. Could you let us
Okay.
know? We have somebody asking if they're mammals, and if so, how long is their gestation period? How long are they pregnant for a baby?
Oh yes, they're mammals, of course, and their gestation period is approximately 6 months.
And
So
how many
they,
babies
yeah,
do they have at one time?
mostly they have one baby. There's some cases that we see two babies, but it's not something common.
Yeah, that question
Because it's,
usually shows up because it's so strange to see a mammal like that. So yeah, they produce milk, so they breastfeed on the mother. It is beautiful to see.
yeah.
Oh, that'd be so incredible to see. Just to see that little baby, this photo that you have, a little baby on the back. Oh
Oh
my
my God,
gosh, I would melt. Oh,
it's
when
so
do they have
beautiful.
their babies? Is there a particular season or time of the year when they give birth?
Yeah, it depends. Depends on the ambient. For example, here in Pantanal, that we have the dry period and the dry season and the wet season. You can see babies here in Pantanal from May to July, for example. That's the months that we see most babies. But actually, they can reproduce entire year, so you can see babies in December too. But mostly, they are trying to have those babies during the dry season.
And when do they reach adulthood? How long are they little ones?
Sorry, I didn't hear what.
How long are they babies? When do they reach adulthood?
When either approximately 1 year and between 9 and 12 months.
Fantastic. It's
Yeah.
actually a pretty short childhood for a creature that's this big. Actually, when you think about it.
Yeah, they become independent from their mother from 9 to 12 months, right? So they
Yeah,
go out from the back of the mother, they don't see the mother again, and they become independent. And then adulthood,
exactly.
actually, you would see actually a small one around on the grasslands, and then between probably one and maybe between 1 and 2 years, they become full big size, right?
Ah, I get it. Ah, yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah. And the sexual maturation, I mean, they are about we are 1 year and a half and 2 years, so they become adults in that time.
Great. Next, on a similar note, are there any breeding projects for the various anteater species to help bring them back their populations in the wild?
Well, yes, we're trying to do that. We're trying to do some research about the reproduction of anteaters. That's one of our objectives too. But now there's no a program like that. Uh, it's not easy to raise them. It's not easy, really, because of their diet, principally.
Oh, that would make sense. I'm sure lots of insects are required.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, could you talk more about the purpose of their tail? Why do giant anteaters have that big, beautiful, long, furry tail?
Well, that tail is so beautiful. They use that tail. Uh, these animals, all the cenatrans, have a low metabolic rate, so they cannot regulate the body temperature like other mammals. So they use the tail. The principal function of the tail is to regulate that temperature. They use this tail to cover their body during the night, for example, or during the hot days. So they stay under the tree, with sleeping, covering the entire body with the tail to regulate that temperature. They also the tail when they're walking, the movement of the tail also regulate the temperature, and they use, as Elder said in one moment of the webinar of the presentation, they use the tail to stand into pits. They use to regulate the body. One of the principal functions of the tail.
Oh, how
So
cool.
imagine a 6 foot long mammal, hairy mammal standing up,
Oh my
have
God, yeah.
open strong legs with big claws. So it's a beautiful thing to see.
And around how much do they weigh? Is the fur deceptive or are they pretty heavy?
Oh, an adult can weigh approximately 35 kilograms. They can reach more actually, but the media is that the mean actually
So between
35
80 and
kilograms.
95, around that pounds, 80 pounds to 90 something pounds.
That's really big. That is a big animal.
Yeah.
It's not just hair. There's a lot of
No, it's
actual
not.
components. We are getting lots of questions asking more about the fires. Could you discuss a little bit what's happening? Why are these rampant fires happening? And is there anything being done to stop them?
Well, these mega fires are most of them are climate driven. The Pantanal is getting too dry. The dry season is much longer than what it used to be. So that's one of the visions and one of the reason actually. But the other pressure of the big pressure that we believe in that is actually confirmed is the agriculture expansion. So there's some intentional fires. We're not going to say that it's not because it happened. The with also with the fragmentation and the deforestation, the how you say uh, the fire provoked by the people, their own land. So that's a big problem here because when you came to Pantanal, you can see how this uh, how is the expansion of the agricultural. So it's a big problem
So
during the
yeah,
dry season, of course.
usually fire caused in the Pantanal usually is by man. This is important, right? And in the climate change that we are seeing, getting more dry with less water and longer dry seasons, it's getting worse. And you also ask if people what people are doing to fight the fire or to avoid the fire. So fire was a taboo in Brazil, maybe still is. And so for the last at least 5 years or six, people are trying to unite it themselves. And so they created NGOs together with the government, created fire brigades, so trained people with a lot of equipment, help from the government. So we're talking about helicopters, airplanes, and people from the army, for example, from the armed force, to help on the fires as well and to avoid. So a lot of equipment as well. So monitor by satellite, monitor by cameras with long, tall towers, right? So communication system as well. So now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting, but for uh, most of the history of Pantanal, nobody was talking about fire. So that is a huge threat today. Yeah.
Next, could you talk about the protection status of the Pantanal and the ecosystem? Is there anything being done on a governmental level to protect this really critical ecosystem?
Yes, it is. Yes, unfortunately, it is a Pantanal law that is working good till now. Uh, so, so there's another NGO that is SOS Pantanal that have been working very hard with policies and government to ensure that that law works here in Pantanal. So yes, there is. Elder, you know something else?
Exactly, yeah. So SOS Pantanal is one NGO working with others, with also help from WWF. And one of the most important achievements that they did was to create what he mentioned, the Pantanal Law. So it's a law focused on Pantanal. So imagine environmental laws of Brazil, and you manage a biome like the Amazon the same way of Atlantic forest of Pantanal. This doesn't fit right well. So there's a lot of ways to destroy the forest because of that. So this is why we needed a specific environmental law to this biome, to the Pantanal. So it was a great achievement. Today is forbidden crops in the Pantanal. So sugarcane, soybeans, it's forbidden to have inside the Pantanal, which is a really incredible thing. Mining is also forbidden in the Pantanal. And so one of the biggest threats that Pantanal has is crops, is agriculture, deforestation outside of the Pantanal, which is the surroundings, where all the offsprings of the rivers are. So this is one of the major threats, and people are trying to protect Pantanal doing that, doing these laws, doing these fire brigade programs, and trying to work with the government. So there's a lot of things. They are trying also to, not trying, they are restoring habitat as well inside the Pantanal, but most outside on those areas that I mentioned that are the headwaters of the rivers in the Pantanal. So a few projects to restore forest there. So one of the things that we can mention.
Yeah, and in the same line, we are getting now some governmental resources to training some brigades indigenous brigades actually for animal rescue during the fire. So that's something that we're starting to do now here. So that's another thing to add.
Wonderful. We're having lots of questions about predators. Do these giant anteaters have any predators? And if so, what are they? How successful are they at attacking these guys?
Oh, good question. They actually have one principal predator that is the jaguar, actually, but the giant anteater is not an easy prey for them. That big claws, they really can hurt a jaguar. So mostly they try to avoid giant anteaters because they're scared of them, of course. But the principal predator is the jaguar, yes.
And most of the time, what is their demeanor? Are they aggressive animals or are they gentle?
Sorry, I didn't get one. Can you
Yeah,
repeat,
most of
please?
the yeah. What is their demeanor most of the time? Are they gentle animals or are they aggressive? What is their behavior like?
Ah, the principal behavior. No, they're not aggressive at all. I mean, they get when they see a person, they get scared and they run. If they have a baby in the back, they can try to defend, but most of the time they will run into the forest and try to hide. Yeah, they won't attack. They're not aggressive at all. No.
So this is why we got benefits of that behavior, and we got really close. Usually, we have the opportunity on a safari drive to stop and
Yeah.
get pretty close to them, enjoy in a beautiful way. So it's really nice. They don't hear well, they don't see well, so it is just great to see a wild anteater right there.
Yeah.
Well, and are anteaters ever attacked by caiman?
No, no, Cayman is too is small. It's really small for them. No, there's no register of that.
Yeah,
Here
not
in
a
the
risk.
Pantanal, because
Yeah.
the Cayman species here is small, but the Amazonian species are bigger, for example. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe, yeah, in the Amazon, maybe the black caimans, which are much bigger caimans
Yeah,
than the Paraguayan caimans you find in the Pantanal. Maybe the black caimans can eat anteaters, but I bet
yeah,
it's not common.
no,
Which makes sense since they're mostly in like the open areas and caiman
yeah.
are in the water. Okay. Is poaching an issue at all with anteaters?
Is what?
Poaching?
Poaching.
What is poached? Sorry.
Poaching is illegal hunting.
Oh, actually, no, it's not a problem that, but because they have no muscular mass, for example, for eating. But we have some register that some regions of Brazil and Argentina, the people used to kill this animal because they believe that they are uh, how you say elder, they bad luck.
They would bring some curse,
Yeah,
like a
exactly.
superstitious belief that they would bring some bad things for people. That, well,
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
past we heard about that. People would believe on that.
Yeah.
Great. That's always good to hear. That's not really an issue much anymore. Could you go a little bit further into their unique backbones and their unique skeleton? Could you elaborate a little bit further and teach us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. These animals are all the Senartrans, actually Senartrans, as I said, it means unusual backbones because they have this distinctive vertebral architecture, or how you say it, some
Like an
difference.
extra joint in the
Yeah,
vertebrae.
exactly. That we like to we call like synarthrous processes, because they are like intravertebral articulations that they allow to them to do some extra forces, like standing 2 feet, or for the armadillos to dig a burrow, for example. Some so they are accessories articulations. As Elder said, it's mostly in the lumbar region. So that's why an armadillo can roll into a ball, for example. That's one of the reasons. It's a biomechanical support for these animals.
Yeah, and the skull is really amazing too. When you come to the Pantanal trip, we'll be able to see a live one, a skull, so you can actually see the details, how long it is, and how special the mandible, the jaws are. So I mean, the animal is just something unique. You never saw anything in the wild like that.
Really.
How much of their nose then is bone and how much of it is cartilage?
On the nose,
Hmm.
it's mostly bones. Yeah.
Yeah,
Inside of the bone, there's the cartilaginous, but principle is bone.
yeah, the whole head you see, the whole head is the whole skull.
Yeah,
So just
exactly.
the tip of it is flesh, right? Is the mouth, and I mean like a few inches is just the mouth, but the whole thing is the skull.
The skull.
So
Really.
We do have a fun question here asking about the birds in the background, Jorge. Could you talk about the ambiance of the birds around you? What are we hearing?
Oh, what are we hearing now? There's a lot of species of birds, and I don't know the names because I'm only know.
I think you're hearing monk parakeets, monk
Yeah,
parakeets.
they're here. Yeah,
Yeah, maybe yellow chevron parakeets. I'm hearing also.
I don't
Maybe
know.
parakeets and some cuckoos. I heard some cuckoos as well.
Okay, I
And
don't
a
know
flight cat
what is that.
called great Sicily. So a few.
Yes, but there's a lot of birds. Really, you will see when you came here to the Pantanal. Oh my God, there's a lot of them.
Absolutely. The most birds I've ever seen in my life in one trip was to the Pantanal. That is for sure. Fantastic. And of course, it's nice having one of our best naturalist guides here on the call too. That's just identifying birds through Jorge's through Jorge's audio. I love it. Um,
I miss Pantanal. I'll
oh,
be there
great.
in 1 month.
Are roads an issue at all in the Pantanal? And if so, okay, well that's good. You just shook your head. That's great. So roads do not seem to be a problem here in this part of Brazil.
Well, you can answer also, Jorge, but I mean, the roads, for example, where we go in the Pantanal trip, there's not really an issue. Of course, when we go in the northern area of Pantanal, we go through Transpantaneira Road, and usually it's dry. But if we have some heavy rain, it sometimes can become challenging. So can be muddy, slippery. But usually is dry season. So but Nanhab trip goes from May to first week of October. So usually we avoid rainy, um, but we're never safe 100% away from rain.
Absolutely. Wild is wild, that is for sure. Uh, Next here, how many giant eaters are there? What is the population size?
We actually don't have that number, because we can yet we can make an individualization of these animals. They don't have these marks like the jaguars that they could distinguish every individual. Now we don't know. We know that southern Pantanal have more abundance than northern, for example, but the number exactly we really don't know. We can estimate the abundance. It's impossible actually for now.
Great.
And
And
there
oh no, go
are
ahead.
there are sorry, there are giant anteaters almost everywhere in Brazil, right? So it's a huge, and outside of the Brazil as well, other countries in South America.
Yeah.
So it should be a great effort, international effort to get this number, but
Yeah.
nobody knows.
Great. And then next here, do anteaters live in cooperation with any other species?
Living cooperation.
Like with any other
Mm.
birds or any other animals, do they interact in like in a symbiotic way where two animals help each other?
No, there's no some that kind of symbiosis. It's called. How you call it in English that? No, there's no register for anteaters. That type of behavior, not as in sloths, for example. But anteater, no. They are solitary. They don't like groups. They are really like that.
Yeah, I'm just guessing here, trying to think about maybe some birds can collect hair
With
to build their
pigs,
nest. Especially weaver birds could do that, but it's not exactly answering your question.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, but there's a lack of studies to discover things that we never reported. So maybe there
really,
is, and we don't know.
really.
All right. And then the last question I will ask you today, how can we, no matter where we're at, help support your work in your institute?
Well, we are an NGO, so we're working with support with different source of resources. You can access to our site, and there's a donation program, and we are trying to develop some adopt program here in this center, so anybody can adopt Antamandua and help us to finish to build the center and put a name of the animal and trying to know the entire process of the rehabilitation and reintroduction of this animal. So that's are the possibilities that we are trying to
Basically, is going into the website to get those
yeah,
information, and maybe also when you come to the Pantanal to visit
exactly.
in an ahead trip, you get more information as well. Actually, you're going to see probably you're going to get an opportunity to see the research center and so on. So you get more involved with that, and but
Excellent.
definitely going through the site. To the site.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I already have a link to the website already in the follow-up email that all of you are going to receive, so that it's going to be super easy, direct in your inbox. If you want to support Jorge and their amazing work, it is going to be dropping right to you. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the Q&A portion of the webinar, and I will turn it to you, Eldor and Jorge, for any last closing comments for us.
Thank you again, Jorge. Thank you very much for your day here, and please thank you everyone on the institute for that. Thank you everyone to be here, and I hope to see you in the Pantanal this year or the next.
Yeah, it will be. See, yeah. I'm really thankful for you. Really thank you to you, to Brooke, to everyone here for inviting me to talk about these animals and all the things that we're doing to save them and to protect them. So for me, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely. We're getting tons of thank yous in the chat here, and also just lots of highs to you, Eldor, as lots of people's past guides and how awesome you are. So everybody's very happy with today's presentation. So thank you both for taking this time for us on a Friday. And I would like to thank everybody who tuned in. If you're interested in information on how you can travel with NatHab, give us a call at 800-543-8917 or send us an email at info@nathab.com. Our adventure specialists are more than happy to help you. Join us Monday for our next daily dose of nature. You can check out next week's lineup, including registration links on our website at nathab.com/webinars. We did record today's presentation and the replay will be available on our website soon. With that, I will conclude the webinar. Goodbye, everybody.